Their wagon approached the black gates of the castle, where two soldiers, both part of the leopard branch, greeted them. Their armour was made of a jet-black metallic alloy, as light as aluminium and as strong as diamonds. It had patterns of black and soft grey that mirrored that of a leopard throughout the entire bodysuit. The warriors looked like gargoyles as they stood as still as stone, but unlike gargoyles, their eyes glowed forest green. The leopard's helmets are also made of the same metallic alloy, bearing the same camouflage pattern as the rest of the suit. There was no visor for the warriors to peer through, only the lenses of the ominous green glow. Robert rolled down his window and saluted the soldiers. They gave a salute back, and though they knew him well, asked for Robert's identification so that he would be permitted in.
"Dad, who are they, Dad?"
Lorena asked nervously. "They're called leopards. They're part of our military and will lay down their lives to protect us. There's no reason to be afraid of them," he told her.
"They look like monsters, Dad,"
she continued. "Oh, if it helps, think of them as your monsters that scare off the very terrible ones that frighten you at night. Come here and shake his hand. He'll love it," Robert said. Lorena hesitated and moved towards the window. She looked at the soldier, and the soldier looked back at her. Lorena's eyes grew slightly wider as she put out her hand to say hello. The warrior depressurized the helmet from the suit and removed it. Lorena could not believe what she was seeing.
"You're a girl! Dad, she's a girl! You told me she was a monster!"
she said in amazement. The soldier laughed, as did Robert and Lagertha. "She must be very brave and very strong to pass the training to become a warrior in our military. Our standards are very high, and we'll lower them for no one. She is truly one of the best," he informed his daughter.
"Is it true? Are you the best?"
she asked the soldier. "I'm not the best, no. But your father is right. I'm very brave and very strong. And if you are in trouble, I will do my best to protect you. And if need be, die for you," the leopard told her.
"She's like a hero in the fables. So cool, Dad,"
she said dumbfounded. "All right, Lorena, we best be going," Robert said.
"Bye, Lady Leopard. Bye,"
Lorena shouted as she waved goodbye. The wagon pulled up the long driveway to the castle's entrance, where Abraham was there to meet them. Lorena dashed out of the vehicle and sprinted to her grandfather, embracing him with the largest of hugs.
"Granddaddy, how have you been? Dad said you haven't been feeling good,"
she said innocently.
"Oh, your dad is overreacting. You've nothing to worry about. Your grandy is just fine,"
he reassured her as he looked at his son with an expression of guilt.
"Let's get inside. It's miserably cold out here."
The castle doors swung open to bleach-white marble floors, snow-white pillars, and birch trees that reached the ceiling. Miniature lamprogs circled high above, near the skylight, lighting up the entrance when the sun had set. "Thanks, Dad, for taking the boys. You sure you'll be all right?" Robert asked.
"Oh, we'll be quite fine."
"To what ballet are you attending tonight?" his father asked. "We're seeing the Snow Queen," said Robert.
"Oh, a wonderful tale. One of my favorites. You three best be gone before you become late."
Abraham held out his hands and Lagertha handed over the two boys to him.
"Thank you so much, Abraham. You're such a sweet granddaddy," she told him.
"Oh, it's nothing. You will have fun now."
"We have changing underwear in the bag, along with wipes and milk. They'll probably need to eat around 9:30 or so,"
Lagertha informed him. "Thanks, Dad. We'll be back around 11 or 11:30.
"Don't worry about me. You just all have fun."
"If you'd like, you're more than welcome to stay the night," Abraham told his son. "We might take you up on that, Dad. See you soon."
"Bye, Granddaddy,"
said Lorena as she skipped to the carriage.
"Goodbye, dear. I'll see you soon."
Abraham closed the massive door behind them as they left with a grin of delight on their faces. Robert, Lagertha and Lorena boarded the vehicle and headed towards the art district, which consisted of arenas, theatres, universities and museums. There were monuments all around this city honouring great men and women of the past. Some were soldiers, others artists, world leaders, mathematicians. There was even a monument for just a local citizen. Though these people walked different paths in life, they all had one commonality. which was that they all impacted the nation in such a manner that would seem impossible for one man or woman to accomplish on their own. Not only were these people honoured with statues and monuments, but the people of the nation strived to be like them, from their moral codes to their passion and willingness to accomplish their dreams. Though the origins of the nation weren't without fault, the people loved it and would come from all over the globe to be a part of it. In front of the most prestigious theatre, where the ballet was being held, was a marble statue honouring the country's most influential writer, whose works have gone on to be retold in their original format, as well as in ballets, holofilms, plays, and children's stories. The statue was of Christian Andersen, who sat atop a bench with a book and cane in hand. His face was turned away as if distracted by something, or imagining his next story. To his left was a monument made of light. It honoured the country's first ever prima ballerina, Pierina Legnani. Like a dream, she twirled and danced all around the courtyard to Andersen's playwright, Vajacht and the Beast. Further on, to Pierina Legnani's left, was another statue of a great writer whose tales are synonymous with love and darkness, who goes by the name of Poe. He's deep in thought at his desk, scribbling out his next book on a piece of parchment, and coming from his pen is a beam of light which illuminated the words he was writing. The light refracted onto the sky above Poe's head as ravens flew all around, sometimes in chaos, other times in unison.
"Who's the dancer made of light, Mom?"
Lorena asked.
"Oh, that is Pierina Legnani. She's the most famous and greatest ballerina to have ever existed," Lagertha told her. "When I grow up, I'm going to be just like her, Mom," Lorena said with certainty. "Oh, it's very hard work. You must give everything you have to become the best. And sometimes you might have to put aside other things you like to do to become the best. Would you want to do that?" Lagertha questioned her. "I can do it, Mom. Dad, tell her I can do it," said Lorena.
Robert and Lagertha chuckled silently. "Oh, she can do it, Lagertha," he told his wife, and gave her a playful wink. The carriage pulled up to the entrance of the theatre. The air stung their cheeks as they exited the vehicle, and they blushed once they were inside the warmth of the building. Inside, Yule decorations filled the rooms with a festive atmosphere. The people around them were in a joyful mood, smiling and laughing, enjoying champagne and wine as they waited for the show to begin. Robert looked at his daughter, who was in awe of the elegance she was surrounded by. She started to twirl and dance as they waited in the lobby for the lights to flicker, signalling the ballet was about to begin.
"Lolo, stay close and watch out for others. We don't want to spill any drinks on their pretty outfits, do we?" said Lagertha. "I'm right here, Mom. I'll be careful, I promise," she told her mother.
Moments passed as Robert enjoyed a glass of champagne and Lagertha sipped on a mocktail while their daughter danced around them. The lights flickered from on to off, and they scurried off to find their seats. The auditorium of Radio Ciolalla was littered with rows of red seats. Its stage beamed a sunset yellow as arches seemed to flow like waves down to it. A hand-blown, dazzling and massive crystal chandelier hung high above the auditorium. It looked as if the sun had exploded as the crystal stems reached out in all directions. A morning orange and fire yellow lit the room as its light beamed across the theatre. The lights dimmed. The audience fell silent and the music began to play a soft and beautiful tune. The curtain began to rise, and standing in the centre of the stage was a little girl, dressed in a ragged fluid dress with torn tights underneath, and a young boy whose boots were new, but his jacket was tattered and hair ruffled. Above them was an arch of flowers connecting one rooftop to another. They danced and played in the ballet sort of way. Lorena's eyes gleamed wide at the sight, and Robert and Lagertha's hearts were warmed with her joy. Entering the stage in a grand fashion was a stunning woman whose unitard was glove-tight and whiter than a swan's feathers. Her hair was blonde and put up in a bun that looked like a crown. Her white sleeves were draped in diamonds, and in her hair were dazzling snowflakes. Lorena looked at her parents with her mouth wide open, mesmerized by the beauty of the Snow Queen.
"So pretty,"
she mouthed to her father. Robert smiled and nodded in agreement. Wrapped up in the magic of the ballet, with adventure, sadness, heartache and love, the hour and a half flew by in what seemed like mere minutes. The little boy and the little girl were no longer little, but had grown into adults, and the two of them lived a fairy tale ending, happily ever after. The crowd stood and cheered with thunderous applause as the performers bowed and curtsied to show their gratitude. Finally, the choreographers and director came out onto the stage to thank all who had attended and all who had performed with humble words of kindness. Robert and his family exited the theatre and waited for their coach to arrive.
Hey, Dad, can I join a ballet school?
Lorena asked. I think it's a great idea. What do you think, Lagertha?
Please, 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 Mom.
Lorena pleaded.
If you really want to do ballet, we can see when classes start up.
I'll make a few calls tomorrow and see what I can find out, said Lagertha.
Yes!
Exclaimed Lorena as she twirled circles around them. The snow started to fall heavy as the carriage arrived. They climbed into the carriage and watched the snow flurry from the warmth of the vehicle. I think the Snow Queen has arrived. Let's see if we can find her, Robert suggested to his daughter.
I think she's over there, Dad,
Lorena said. Oh, no, I think I see her behind you, Robert told her.
There she is,
Lagertha teased.
Where, Mom?
Lorena asked. Right here, she said once more. She began to tickle Lorena. She giggled happily, trying to tickle her mother back.
Dad, help!
Lorena blurted out, chuckling her words as she spoke. Robert squeezed Lagertha's thigh, and she too started to laugh. And then he tickled her ribs and all her sensitive areas until she was laughing in tears. They had tuckered out, especially Lorena, who now rested her head on her mother's lap. Her eyes were closed, and sleep had taken her. Robert grabbed his wife's hand and kissed it as they rode in silence back to his father's castle.